Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu Me Bho Rama Mamuddhara Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavitvaram Satgurum Brahmavitvaram. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Ishavasyamidagum sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagate tena tyaktena bhunjithaha ma grudah kasya svidhanam kuruvanneveha karmani JijiVisha shatagam samaha evam tvai nanyatetosti na karma lipyate nare. We were seeing the second mantra, which is talking about karma nishta. Is the sound okay or is it echoing a little bit? Good? Okay. Second mantra is talking about karma nishta. All of us are here in this world with a human body. Nara Deha we have got. What is the supremost accomplishment through Nara Deha? Supremost accomplishment is mantra number 1. If somebody can get this knowledge that everything is Isha alone, there is no Nama Rupa, there is only Chaitanya, only consciousness. Name and form is an appearance in that consciousness. This is the supremost knowledge. If somebody is not ready for that yet, then what is the best thing we can accomplish through human body? That is the second mantra. Tvai nare karmana lipyate. Do something in such a way that in you there is no taint of karma. No taint of karma, we saw elaborately what are the different ways in which karma will taint. First thing is it will produce phalam, produce result. It will increase rajoguna. What was the third one? It will increase karta bhava, doership. And last one was, once we start doing something, very difficult to stop. That itself is lepa of karma. Bhagwan expects us that if we have a human body, we should live our life in such a way that none of these 4 things are affecting us. That is called as freedom from lepa. Means we have to graduate from one stage to the next stage. Just like if somebody is going to university, The purpose of going to university is not to stay there. Purpose of going there is to learn. And finally, that student should say, now I'm ready to go out. Like that, they say, we have gotten this human body and we have this universe as our teacher. Having stayed here, if we get caught up in more and more things, if lepa is happening more and more, he says that is not the fulfillment of human body. So that word nare has come to indicate this point. We have come here, but we should learn the right lesson and learn the art of being free. Even at karma level, absolute freedom is at knowledge. That is mantra 1. But even at karma level, finding out a way by which one is not bound. Evam karmani kurvan eva iha shatam samaha JijiVisha. Mantra words only we are rearranging. That is called as anvaya. Evam karmani kurvan. In this way, doing karma alone, one should desire to live for 100 years. Itaha anyatha na asti. Other than this, there is no other option. Either hold on to path 1 or hold on to the second path. What happens if somebody doesn't hold on to either? Third mantra will talk about those people. But we'll see the bhashya now of the second mantra. Other points, what we had seen was Mukta Sangha and Samachara. Those were the 2 keywords. Mukta Sangha happens through having an altar, and Samachara again has 2 facets: amount of work that we put in, and Kaushalam, the dexterity with which that work is done. Those were again pointers from 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This one mantra, 40 verses, 40 plus verses, Bhagavan has elaborated. Evam atmavidah putradi eshnatraya sanyasena putradi eshnatraya sanyasena. This is 16 page number, your Gita Press book. AtmaGrahanaya Atma rakshitavyah ityesha vedarthah atha itarasya anatmajnataya AtmaGrahanaya Ashkatha idam upadishati mantrah Kurvan Eva iha nirvartayan eva karmani Agnihotradini JijiVisha jivitum ichet shatam shatasankhya samaha samvatsaran tavadhi purushasya parama ayuhu nirupitam tathacha prapta anuvadena yajjijivishet shatam varshani tat kurvan eva karmani iti etat vidhiyate. Evam atmavidah, one who has gained knowledge, that person is called as atmavidah. But knowledge has not ripened. Knowledge has not taken roots yet. For that sadhaka, what was the advice? Putradi eshanatraya sanyasena. By letting go of the 3 eshanas, putra eshana, vitta eshana, and loka eshana, by letting go of these three things, taking sannyasa. Putradi Eshanatraya itself means sannyasa. They are not two different things. Letting go of these three desires and holding on to the higher, that itself is sannyasa. Through that, AtmaGrahanaya Ashkatha Atma Rakshitavyaha. Gain abidance in the self and protect knowledge of the self. Iti Eshaha Vedartha. This was the meaning of the first mantra, that was the injunction. Ata Itarasya. The second one who is there, Anatmajnataya. Still some impurities of the mind are remaining, because of which this knowledge is not becoming clear. Or need for this knowledge is not being felt yet. That is this person who is Anatmajnataya, AtmaGrahanaya Ashaktasya. Ashakta means incapable of holding on to this Atma-Jnanam. Idam Upadishati Mantraha. For that person, the second mantra is indicated. You know the reason why Bhagavan is giving these terms, right? Atma-Jnana Grahanaya Ashaktasya. It is not to put down the second mantra, not to put down the Adhikari of second mantra, to say that this Adhikari is Ashakta, that is why we will give him something else. This Adhikari is somebody who is a sincere seeker. Sincere seeker. But it might happen that one of the three qualities that is needed for Vedanta Jyanam, that is lacking. What were the three inner qualities that we saw? Shraddha, Tatparata, and Sanyatendriya. Bhagavad Gita. Shraddhavan labate jnanam, tatparaha sanyatendriya. In tradition, if either one of these three is missing, then teacher will not give knowledge, or even if he hears, student will not gain this knowledge. When they would say, right, in the olden days, that if a student comes, student has to stay in Gurukula for a few years. Teacher will observe and then give this teaching. So if he notices that the student has Shraddha and he has Tatparta also, but no discipline. Tatparta is there, but Sanyatendriya is not there. It is said the teaching will not be given. But because he is having Shraddha and Tatparta, Karma Yoga will bring that third part also. Discipline, Sanyatendriya, will come through Karma Yoga. If somebody has Shraddha and they have disciplined life, the Sanyatendriya is there, but no Tatparta. Don't seek Brahman as the goal. Then that person will be AtmaGrahanaya Ashkatha. Even if teaching is available, he will not be able to understand the teaching. So out of compassion, Upanishads give the same sadhaka a method by which he can work on that limitation, work on that thing which is lacking, and become Shaktaha. Shakta means capable of appreciating this knowledge. That is the beauty of Karma Yoga. It will bring all these three qualities. If somebody can do their duties remembering the Lord, do their duties as worship of the Lord, that will bring faith, that will bring commitment, that will also bring discipline. All these three things. So that word Ashaktaha, we should not look at it as saying this second Adhikari is inferior to the first one or in any of those ways. Okay. Kurvan Eva iha nivartayan eva karmani Agnihotradini. Kurvan Eva, by doing alone. So what is Kurvan Eva? Nirvartayan Eva. Nirvartayan means by accomplishing. Accomplishing what? Accomplishing karmas. There are so many type of karmas. Which karma is he accomplishing? Agnihotradini karmani nirvartayan eva. Those two words, did you find them in the mantra? Kurvan Eva came from mantra and karmani came from mantra. Thing to note here is how Bhagavan is opening up Upanishad mantra. He explained Kurvan Eva iha means nirvartayan eva iha. Kurvan Eva means by accomplishing alone, one should live in this world. By doing, one should live. Doing what? Karmani kurvan eva. But what kind of karma? Agnihotradini. So Agnihotradini represents all nitya karma and also naimittika karma. Okay, that is the upalakshana. Means you mention one, everything else is included in that. So Agnihotradini represents that. This is what we had seen in the introduction. Compared to inertia, doing karma is better. But in karma also, what kind of karma should we do? It was said, do satkarma. So that satkarma is represented by this Agnihotradini. Then if you are already doing satkarma, do it as karma yoga. Nishkama karma, that will bring greater results. JijiVishet jivitum ichet shatam shatasankhya. JijiVishet again is from mantra. What does JijiVishet mean? Jivitum ichet. One should desire to live. How long should one desire to live? He says shatasankhya 100 years. Samaha samvatsaran. The word samaha is from mantra. So what is samaha here? Number of years. So one should desire to live 100 years. This is not 100 samvatsara. Samvatsaran here means one should desire to live 100 years. Now somebody might say, why 100 years? Why not little more? Why not little less? Bhagavan gives explanation. Tavadhi purushasya parama ayuhu nirupitam. Whenever Bhagavan has created something, the both dates are determined. When it should be born and when it will perish. There is no single object in this creation which is born and will stay forever. Either you take material objects or you take any life form. Mosquito life form is very short. Other animals, they will have their own lifespan. Insects, sometimes it is few seconds. You know, those moth kind of thing, which goes near the light. Few seconds, that is its paramayuhu. It is also one yoni. It is also one form of life. So like that, when Brahmaji created human body, the maximum lifespan of this human body is 100 years. That's why in colloquial terms, whenever it is somebody's birthday, they'll have a phrase called as Jivet Sharada Shatam. Means may you live 100 years. Every language will have in their own phrase. That is where this is coming from. Tathacha prapta anuvadena JijiVishet shatam varshani tat kurvan eva karmani iti etat vidhiyate. So if you understand the parama ayu in this way, that 100 years human life is there, prapta anuvadena, if you understand it in this way, then what Upanishad mantra is telling is, for that duration, one should live an inspired life. So we will not want to have this JijiVisha unless there is some goal and there is something higher to aspire. JijiVisha will come when that sadhaka has got some inspiration that this Upanishad mantra says one should bring, and our own nitya karma, whichever we are doing, that should get sweetened. Although it is at Agnihotradini, right? If we don't appreciate why we are doing it, or we have not done it for a long time such that mind has gotten taste in that thing, that same Agnihotra karma will become very dry. So JijiVisha, if it has to come, then this sadhaka has to get lot of rasa in that thing. Evam prakarena, oh, this we didn't read, right? Okay, let us read this part. Evam prakarena tvai JijiVishati nare naramatra abhimanini itah etasmat Agnihotradini karmani kurvatah vartamanat prakarat anyatha prakarantaram nasti yena prakarena ashubham karma na lipyate karmana na lipyate ityarthah atah shastra vihitani karmani Agnihotradini Kurvan Eva JijiVishet. Evam is again from Upanishad mantra, means Evam Prakarena. In this way, by having this JijiVisha, Tvai JijiVishati Nare. Tvai means in that human being who has this JijiVisha. Nara Matra Abhimanini. The one who has this Abhimana that I am a human being. Now these words are important. Huh? If somebody is a karta atma abhimanini, abhimana is also a compromised word there, but if somebody doesn't consider himself to be limited by this physical body, for that person there is no injunction for karma. What will that person be adhikari for? Mantra number 1. That sadhaka will be adhikari for mantra 1. If somebody thinks I am a human being, it is said that is the indication for being adhikari for mantra 2. So nara matra abhimanini itah, over here, etasmad agnihotradini karmani kurvatah. By doing these karmas like Agnihotra, etc. Vartamanat prakarat anyatha prakarantaram nasti. Other than this duty-bound life, a life surrounded by karma yoga, this Upanishad mantra says there is no other way. No other way for what? Yena prakarena ashubham karma na lipyate. No other way by which we will not get affected by our own life experiences. One is getting affected by what we are doing, and second is getting affected by what is coming. Both will put labor. Both will put labor. So if somebody does karma in an unintelligent way, so there is no way that this person will be free from taint of karma. But Bhagavan here mentions Ashubham karma na lipyate. Shubha karma binds or not? Shubha karma, does it bind or not? How many of you say yes? You can raise your hand. How many of you say it doesn't bind? It binds in a very subtle way. If Shubha karma is done with a desire, it will produce phalam. It will produce results. So much so that if it is for some Shubha Paristhiti, some better location, some better situation later, even if the sadhaka doesn't want, he will have to go to that Paristhiti. So Shubha Karma binds in that way. Ashubha Karma will bind by immediate results. Mind will be agitated. Or if Rajoguna is too high, so all other emotions will come. Anger will come, frustration will come. So that bondage is very immediate. But for a Vedanta sadhaka, Ashubha Karma binds, Shubha Karma done with desire also binds. That's why Nachiketa's boon to Bhagwan is, or boon he's asking to Bhagwan is, Anyatra Dharmat, Anyatra Adharmat. He's not only asking, tell me something which is beyond Adharma, he's saying, tell me something which is beyond Dharma also. But before we let go of bondage of Shubha Karma, Bhagwan is telling here, let us be free from taint of Ashubha Karma. Let us do our karmas in such a way that no Ashubha Karma comes and binds us. It's a sequential step. First, we should be free from bondage of Ashubha Karma. Then we can think about being free from bondage of Shubha Karma. If somebody says climbing the 20th step will take you to your goal. So this person says, let me climb the 20th step first. Or while eating, by eating which roti will you be full? He said, 10th roti you will be full. Oh, 10th roti I'll be full? Then give me the 10th roti. He says, no, you'll have to eat 1 through 9 first, then the 10th. In the same way, being free from Shubha Karma is like the 10th roti. For that, I'll have to be free from Ashubha Karma first. And it's a big statement. Bhagwan says, throughout the day, other than Karma Yoga Buddhi, there is no other way by which we can be free from this taint of karma. Whenever we see any emotion inside us because of some karma, that time we should be reminded of this. How karma taints us, that we will see in our everyday life. Although we saw it in a technical way, right? Rajoguna increases, Karta Bhava increases. Whenever we feel frustrated anywhere, that itself is one taint of karma. There we should remind ourselves, purpose of having a human body is not to get stuck here. Purpose is to move to the first mantra, to negate this world as dream. For that, I am preparing through this karma yoga. This point will keep getting repeated. The next idea that Bhagwan is going to raise, that is this emphasis. Adhikari for sannyasa is very different, and adhikari for karma is very different. Both are being mentioned here. Karmana na lipyate ityartha. Now Bhagwan is giving this summary. What does that whole line mean? Ataha shastra vihitani karmani Agnihotradini Kurvan Eva JijiVisha. So based on whatever we discussed, although the Upanishad mantra says Kurvan Eva karmani, but how should we understand shastra vihitani karmani? We should do those actions as enjoined by scriptures with the perspective of karma yoga. And doing this, one should aspire to live 100 years. Okay. Now comes one of the favorite topic of Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji. If you are studying any Upanishad with Bhashya, you'll be very familiar with this topic. I'll just introduce it, then we'll go into the Bhashya. There is one Purva Paksha who comes and says Why can't we say that mantra 1 and mantra 2 is for the same person? Why do you emphasize so much that first mantra is for somebody who has taken sannyasa, who is willing to take sannyasa, wants to abide in Isha? And second mantra is for somebody who is AtmaGrahanaya Ashkatha, one who is not ready yet for mantra 1. Why can't you say the same person who is supposed to do Ishavasya, same person has to do karma also? Why can't you say that? Then Bhagavan elaborately describes what is the expectation for sannyasa, or what is the expectation for jnanam. And it's a beautiful pointer. He says, you keep saying the same person can do jnanam and karma also. Do you not remember what we just discussed? It is where? What did we discuss where? In Sambandha Bhashya. We saw the different things karma can give. Right? Utpadyam, apyam, samskaryam, vikaryam. Only these things is in the realm of karma. If something is already attained, for that I don't need karma to attain it. Atma is something which is already attained. None of these 4 things need to be done for Atma. You don't have to do apyam because it's already there. You don't have to do utpadyam. It is eternal, that is why no samskaryam. It will never perish, so no vikaryam. Nitya Vastu, none of these 4 things need to be done. That is why karma is not helpful to attain that. And this sadhaka's goal is to attain that Brahman, is to abide in that Brahman. For that sadhaka, karma will not be of any use. But will it help in preparation? Very much. This is the point we had seen in Kenopanishad. When we say Sadhana Chatustaya is needed for moksha, it is not needed for a result of knowledge. Knowledge by itself can give the result. Sadhana Chatustaya is needed such that Sadhana Chatustaya is needed so that knowledge can take place in that sadhaka and it can take place clearly. For that part, we need Sadhana Chatustaya. But if you say that karma itself will give moksha, then Bhagavan is refuting that point over here. He says, get that Sadhana Chatustaya and know clearly that you are already free. You know, in Vedanta, this question, are you liberated? That question is not a valid question actually. Because we are putting some kind of time on liberation. Upanishad says, all of us are liberated to begin with. We were never bound to begin with. Because of our erroneous thinking, identification with mind, we think we are bound. So through knowledge, this error is removed. There was never a time that rope really became snake. So Atma never became Ahankara. Atma never got bound. The one who is seeking this knowledge, what has karma got to do in his goal? No contribution. No contribution. But here, Bhagavan is just emphasizing more on the greatness of sannyasa. He says, our measure of commitment towards anything, the measure of that is, what are we ready to let go? If somebody wants Brahma, the demand is that person should be ready to let go of Eshanatraya. 3 types of desires, if that person can let go of, then he is willing to, or he is ready for jnanam. Means, see, who is ready for karma yoga, we already know. Means it is commonly understood who is the one who is fit for karma yoga. But who is fit for jnanam, for that we need more perspectives. And it will help a lot in our sadhana. It will help a lot in prioritizing our life. If we say we are Vedanta sadhakas and we are Vedanta seekers, what is expected from us? Single pointedness in our goal. That point Bhagavan will emphasize. Now, how will this desire come of single pointed seeking Bhagavan, single pointed seeking of the higher truth? We say that also comes through Bhagavan's grace. Something that Bhagavan blessed Kevat with. You see the statement Kevat makes after Bhagavan asks him, what can I give you? He says, Bhagavan, what have I not gotten today? Aaju nath mein kaha na pawa. What did you get? He says, Bhagavan, I have lost desire for everything else. Mite dosha dukha darida dava. Whatever shortcomings were there, whatever other doshas were there, everything is removed by your grace. Now I want only you. Abakachunathana chahiye more, Deena Dayala Anugrahatore. That is also one sannyasa vritti. He's saying, I don't want anything of this world again. I want that truth alone. This person is the adhikari for mantra 1. Mantra 2 is not going to help him much. Now let us see the bhashya. Purva Paksha is coming and saying, Katam punaha idam avagamyate purvena mantrena sanyasinaha jnana nishtha ukta dvitiyena tad ashaktasya karma nishteti uchyate Jnana-karmanoho virodham parvatavat akampyam yathoktam nasmarasikim iha api uktam yohi JijiVished saha JijiVished sa karma kurvan Ishavasyam idam sarvam tena tyaktena bhunjithaha ma grudaha kasya suddhanam iti cha na jivite maraneva grudhim kurvita aranyam iyat iti cha padam tataha na punaha iyad iti sannyasa shasanat. If you remember in Kenopanishad, you would have certain titles, right, for every slide and one portion of bhashya on that slide. So same way we are splitting it. In the book also, whatever we read, that is one theme now. So this is Purva Paksha who is coming and is asking Bhagavan, how do you come to this understanding? What did you conclude? You said mantra 1, adhikari is the one who has taken sannyasa. And second mantra you are saying is for somebody who has JijiVisha and who has Nara Abhimana. There are two different adhikaris. One person feels he is a person, human being. And second person has dropped all desires and taken sannyasa. So why do you distinguish between two people? Katam punaha idam avagamyate. How did you come to this understanding? What was your understanding? The Purva Paksha is asking Siddhanti, this is what you concluded, right? Purvena mantrena sanyasinaha jnana nishtha ukta. From mantra 1, you said, for sannyasis, there is jnana nishtha. The injunction for a sannyasi is, abide in the self. If this knowledge you have gained, that everything is consciousness, name and form is an appearance, don't go here and there. Take sannyasa, reflect on this knowledge, and gain abidance. Okay, that is the meaning of this line. Purvena mantrena sanyasinaha jnana nishtha ukta. Dvitiyena tad ashaktasya karma nishtha ukta. By second mantra, you said those who are not ready for mantra 1, for them there is karma nishtha. Katam puna idam avagamyate. How did you make this distinction? Or why do you make this distinction? Uchyate. Bhagavan is answering now. Siddhanti, he is answering. So there's a dialogue going on. Huh? Purva Paksha is asking question, and Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is responding to that Purva Paksha. Purva Paksha means opponent. This mantra otherwise looks very simple. But the purpose of Bhashya is to raise such questions and to get both perspectives. Jnana-Karmanoha Virodham. The opposite nature of jnana and karma. Knowledge and action. Parvatvad akampyam. This jnana and karma, the distinction which is there, it is as firm as a mountain. Akampyam means not moving. I mean, this is not going to go anywhere. You study whichever Upanishad, he says same point will keep bringing again and again. Between jnana, knowledge, and karma, there is virodha. Yathoktam na smarasi kim? Bhagavan is getting annoyed at him. Again and again, same questions you keep asking. Don't you remember? He says, remember from where? That is one rule about remembrance. Remembrance is always something. Remembrance is always of something which you have seen in the past. If somebody comes and meets you and says, do you remember me? Means what that person expects that we have met before. Do you recollect that previous meeting or not? So like this, Bhagavan is saying, the opposition between jnana and karma. Do you remember? Do you not remember? So where is he quoting from? Sambandha Bhashya. Same Ishavasyopanishad only. The introductory Bhashya, we took up the same topic. We said Ishavasya mantras are not for karma. Because between jnana and karma there is virodha. Karma can give only those 4 things. So we discussed it already, and again you are asking the same question. He says, Nasmarasi kim? He says, okay, if you don't remember that, then we can look at this mantra also, appreciate the linga of that mantra. Linga means indicator. If you pay attention to the mantra, you will get to know that Adhikari for mantra 1 and mantra 2, they are different. Before we go into the next line, what is another reason why there is virodha between jnana and karma? This point you can note down. It will keep coming. The main accomplishment in jnanam is negation of kartrutva. Negation of doership and enjoyership. And the main requirement for karma is doership and enjoyership. For jnanam, the main purpose of jnanam is to remove doership and enjoyership. Whereas in karma, the main requirement is doership and enjoyership. So somebody who has lived a life of karma yoga, that person sees the limitations of doership and enjoyership. If somebody is only caught up in karma, he says doership is so good, gives me so much of joy. Enjoyership is also good. But if somebody can do karma yoga sincerely, so that person will want to be free from this doership and enjoyership. And that part, Karma Yoga says, is not our area. To remove Kartrutva Bhoktrutva is not the topic of Karma Yoga. So that is when Karma Yoga hands over that sadhaka to Jnanam. Now this particular mantra, Ishavasya mantra, that is analyzed now. Iha api uktam. And if you pay attention to Ishavasya, the first mantra, you will understand it's for a different adhikari. Yohi JijiVishet sa karma kurvan. The one who has this desire for living long, that person should do karma. Ishavasyam ityadis Ishavasyam idam sarvam. The first line spoke about the tattva, that everything is Isha. Cover this superimposed name and form with the substratum. What was the example? Sandalwood. Sandalwood. The Daurgandhya is covered by the sandalwood fragrance. Ishavasam idam sarvam. See, Bhagavan quotes only what is needed. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat, he did not quote here. He only said, pay attention to that first quarter, Ishavasam idam sarvam. Then the third quarter was Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha. What was the meaning of that part? If you want to abide in this goal, take sannyasa. Tyaktena was tyagena, take sannyasa. Focus 100% of your attention on this goal. Mahagrudaha kasya siddhanam. After taking sannyasa also, if previous vasanas are bothering, previous ways of lifestyle is bothering, don't fall back on the previous ways. That was the meaning of Mahagrudaha kasya siddhanam iti cha. So he says, just look at this mantra. Don't you see that this mantra is exclusively for a sannyasi? His nature of truth is described, which doesn't have anything to do with karma. And he is willing to withdraw and commit towards this goal. Putting forth effort to let go of older habits, ways of living. Sincere, committed sadhaka. This for that sadhaka, sannyasa is the vidhi. That is the injunction, not the later one. This is why I mentioned before, Bhagavan is not elaborating more on who is adhikari for karma. That we already discussed, it is very clear. But who is adhikari for sannyasa, that needs more clarity. That needs more thinking also, that how for that sadhaka, karma is not going to benefit more. For him, Shravanam is done. He says, do mananam and do nididhyasanam. That is a direct way to reach your goal. Now somebody has another objection here. Upanishad mantra said, JijiVished Shatagam Samaha. If you are a Nara, that person should have JijiVisha to live for 100 years. Means if that person doesn't have knowledge yet, it is said that person should aspire to live 100 years. He says, what about Jnana Adhikari? He doesn't have desire to live or what? If you say the Adhikari for karma is the one who has desire to live long, the question is, doesn't Adhikari for Jnanam, doesn't he have desire to live? So then why do you say mantra 1 is for Jnana Adhikari and mantra 2 is for Karma Adhikari? Did you all get this connection? To answer that point is the next line. Na jivite maraneva grudhim kurvita. Adhikari for Jnanam is somebody who is not having insistence even to live or even to let go of this physical body. Bhagavan Shankaracharya's expectations are very high. We should just appreciate. In the true spirit, whatever he is saying, we should just understand. Na jivite maraneva grudem kurvita. This was the spirit with which Lord Buddha left his home. The line that he says when he leaves home, Deham va patayami, karyam va sadhayami. He says, I have a quest for this truth. Either I will attain it or I will drop this physical body. I will not come back halfway. That is his promise. Another example for this is Bhagwan Rama in Yoga Vasishta. When he sees the world and gets vairagya, he said, this is how the nature of world is. Nothing is permanent. No object in this world is worth making as a goal. He says, tell me what is the purpose of life? Unless I get the answer, I'm not going anywhere. It is that Bhagwan's face became as still as a painting. Lipi karma chitravat, something like that, a word is there in Yoga Vasishta. So that is the sadhaka. His commitment to truth is so much, not concerned about what happens to this physical body. Means Bhagwan is negating that JijiVisha for a Jnana Adhikari. Okay. Aranyam iyat. Having understood this, that one should not have desire for either jivanam or maranam, this is one should go to aranyam. So aranyam word here means one should take sannyasa. Aranyam iyat means that. He says this is the meaning of that padam. Iti cha padartha. And after choosing Brahman as the goal, tataha na punah iyat iti sannyasa shasanat. Na punah iyat means burn all the previous bridges. With the three Ashanas, whatever thing was there before, he says don't hold on to any of them. Let none of those vasanas come back again. This is na punah iyat. This sannyasa shasana is given for that sadhaka. So you see how Bhagwan explained this point. What was the question? Why do you say adhikari for mantra 1 and mantra 2 are different? Why can't they be the same person? And how did Bhagwan explain? He did not go to mantra 2 at all. He just emphasized mantra 1 and he said how adhikari for mantra 1 is a sannyasi. He did not explain the karma yoga part because that adhikara we know. This is only to give more clarity that if somebody is a sincere seeker of Vedanta, what is expected from that sadhaka. And that is how our life also has been planned. Our rishis planned 4 ashramas to have the same mindset. We start in brahmacharya, can choose to go into grahastha, should come into vanaprastha, and conclude with sannyasa. Because whenever we read bhashya, we might feel this is not applicable right away. And it's true. Many of these teachings might not be direct application, but it will help us plan our life. It will help us set the right goal and prioritize things in such a way that we can go towards this knowledge. Now the next part, he says, shall we read or I'll just explain directly this part? Okay, so you can just follow the bhashya. Ubhayoho phalabedam cha vakshati. Ubhayoho means Jnana-Karmanoho. Between knowledge and karma, there is phalabeda also. Means we start following a path, looking at a result. If there are different results coming, you cannot say it is the same person who is supposed to do both these things. He doesn't want the other result. He wants only one of the two. Therefore, jnana and karma cannot go together. He says jnana phalam is freedom from sorrow. no rebirth, Jivan Mukti is Jnana Phalam. And Karma Phalam is Shobhana Paristhiti. Better and better worlds, either here or hereafter. Better living conditions, less sorrow at physical body level. That is Karma Phalam, but it cannot guarantee freedom from transmigration. Now, if somebody is seeking complete cessation of sorrow and he is seeking freedom from transmigration, why would he take the other path? That is the question here. Means if we have a destination to go and there is some other destination, there will be another path which is going there. You won't just sit in a different flight because they're offering free ticket. You have a destination and they say today is a free ticket, you can go there also. I say, no, I don't want to go there. I have a goal, I'll go to the same destination. So like that, somebody who has Jnana Phalam as the goal, that person will not go to karma. Imau dvav eva panthanau eva anunishkrantatarau bhavatah kriyapatascha eva purastat sannyasa cha uttarena nivritti margena eshnatrayasya tyagah. This line, the way we should read it is Purastat imau dvav eva panthanau eva anunishkranta tarau bhavatah. Purastat is there later, right? So that will come first. Purastat means in the beginning of creation. Imau, these two, imau dvav eva panthanau, these two paths, anunishkranta tarau, these two paths set out as though. What are those two paths? Kriyapatah, the path of action, and sannyasa cha uttarena. One is path of action, another is path of sannyasa, path of knowledge. Nivritti margena eshnatrayasya tyagah. Through nivritti marga, there is giving up of all three eshanas. Means Brahmaji, when he created this world, these two paths were also created along with this creation. Either we take the path of karma or we take the path of jnanam. Means one is the preparation for the second one. Both are not independent goals. Okay. Through karma marga, one should reach jnanam. This is the point Bhagwan mentions in 5th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagwan says those who say these are independent paths, they have not thought about life yet. Karma by itself cannot be an independent path, means it cannot be the end in itself. This karma path will prepare us in such a way that we are led to jnanam. So when we graduate from karma, that adhikari need not go back into karma. Means back into doing actions with desires. If desires are still there, he says we can keep working on them and come to a point where we become free from it, grow out of it, then say we are ready for jnanam. Okay. Tayoho sannyasa patah eva atirechayati. Amongst these two paths, the path of sannyasa excels. Atirechayati means excels. Between karma and jnanam, path of sannyasa excels. See, Bhagwan Shankaracharya is very direct. If Arjuna asks the same question to Bhagwan Krishna, he will never give a direct answer. Bhagwan Krishna will say, Karma Yoga is also great, Jnanam is also great. If you do one, you will get this result. If you do second, you will get that result. But Bhagwan Shankaracharya is building up on what we have already understood. If we pay attention to Shankar Bhashya, lot of clarity one gets in sadhana. He is talking to sincere mumukshu. That's why he can write statement like this. So confidently, he is writing, Tayoho sannyasa pata eva atirecheti. Nyasa eva atyarechayat. He says, I'm not saying this as my own opinion. It is coming from Narayana Upanishad, Mahanarayana Upanishad, where it is said, the path of sannyasa alone excels. Iti cha taitiriyake. This has been mentioned in Taittiriya. Dvav imau panthanau yatra vedaha pratishtitaha. Pravritti lakshana dharmaha nivrittischa subhashitaha. There are two paths mentioned in Vedas. One is the path of karma, another is the path of jnanam. What are the two words here? Pravritti lakshana and nivritti lakshana. So pravritti refers to karma and nivritti refers to jnanam. You remember in the first class we had seen different terms that are used. All of them were taken from here only. Karma and jnanam. Pravritti and nivritti. Preya and shreya. So these are the two paths. Between them, one should lead us to the other. Ityadi putraya vicharya nishchitam uktam vyasena vedacharyena bhagavata. It's a beautiful line. He says there are two paths and sannyasa excels between those two paths. Bhagwan Vedvyasya has told his son, Shukdevji Maharaj. Means if he has told his son, he will never mislead. He will give the best advice, right? To son. He says that has been told by Bhagwan Vedvyasya. So pay attention to this. And vicharya. He has not made a hasty statement, some impulsive, conclusion. Means Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji is not interested in creating an army of sannyasi. When we read Bhashya, that is how it seems like. He wants to create everybody into a sannyasi. He wants us to become mumukshus. External sannyasa, that is a different option. But he says, Eshana Traya Tyaga. Letting go of those three Eshanas should happen to everyone who is a mumukshu. And Putraya Vicharya Nishchita Muktam. He has thought very well, come to this conclusion that these are two different paths and they are two different adhikaris. Vyasena Vedacharyena. This is what is your opinion about Bhagwan Vedvyasya? He says Bhagavata. He is an incarnation of Bhagwan himself. He has given this teaching. This is what I have understood. That is what I am presenting over here in this Bhashya. Vibhage cha anayoho darshayishyamaha. The difference between the path of karma and path of knowledge, we will explain later in 9th mantra. Darshayishyama means it will come later. Okay. Next class, we will just read this Bhashya again. If you have not marked this Sandhi, we can mark it again. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om.